In that time, Herod the Tetrarch heard the fame of Jesus and said to his children, "This is John Baptist. He is risen from death, and therefore virtues work in him." For Herod had holden John, bound him, put him in prison for Herodias, the wife of his brother. For John said to him, "It is not leaveful to thee to have her." And he, willing to slay him, dreaded the people, for they had him as a prophet. But in the day of Herod's birth, the daughter of Herodias danced in the middle, pleased Herod. Wherefore with an oath he promised to give to her whatever things she asked of him. And she, before warned of her mother, said, "Give thou to me here the head of John Baptist in a dish." And the king was sorrowful, but for the oath, and for them that sat together at the meat, he commanded to be given. And he sent and beheaded John in the prison, and his head was brought in a dish, and it was given to the damsel, and she bare it to her mother. And the disciples came and took his body and buried it, and they came and told to Jesus. And when Jesus had heard this thing, he went from thence in a boat into a desert place beside. When the people had heard, they followed him on their feet from the cities. And Jesus went out and saw a great people, and had ruth on them, and he healed the sick of them. But when the eventide was come, his disciples came to him and said, "The place is desert, and the time is now past. Let the people go into towns to buy them meat." Jesus said to them, "They have not need to go. Give ye them They have not need to go. Give ye them somewhat to eat." They answered, "We have not here but 5 loaves and 2 fishes. And he said to them, "Bring ye them hither to me." When he had commanded the people to sit to meat on the hay, he took the 5 loaves and 2 fishes, and beheld into heaven, and blessed, and brake, and gave to his disciples. The disciples gave to the people, and all ate, and were fulfilled. And they took the remnants of broken goblets, 12 coffins full. And the number of the men that ate was 5,000 of men, without women and little children. And anon Jesus compelled the disciples to go up into a boat, and go before him over the sea, while he let go the people. When the people was let go, he went up alone into an hill to pray. But when the evening was come, he was there alone, and the boat in the middle of the sea was shogged with waves, for the wind was contrary to them. But in the 4th waking of the night, he came to them walking on the sea. And they, seeing him walking on the sea, were disturbed, and said that it is a phantom. And for dread they cried. And anon Jesus spake to them and said, "Have ye trust? I am. Do not ye dread." And Peter answered and said, "Lord, if thou art, command me to come to thee on the waters." And he said, "Come thou." And Peter went down from the boat, and walked on the waters to come to Jesus. But he saw the wind strong, and was afeard. And when he began to drench or drown, he cried and said, "Lord, make me safe." And anon Jesus held forth his hand, and took Peter, and said to him, "Thou of little faith, why hast thou doubted?" And when he had gone into the boat, the wind ceased. And they that were in the boat came and worshipped him, and said, "Verily, thou art God's Son." When they had passed over the sea, they came into the land of Gennesaret. When the men of that place had known him, they sent into all the country, and they brought to him all that had sicknesses, and they prayed him that they should touch the hem of his clothing, and whoever touched were made safe.